never seen it, you know, and it'd be a shame if Jay had passed on and I never got to see
Elsa's dad. Quite a few years ago. Nice, really nice. What a cool shot.
The collection, I go, don't make a special
Is he
trip.
bare
He's
feet?
hanging out there. I'd love to come down.
No.
No, come down. So come down.
So, about to start on this next little piece, but sort of got distracted a bit. What was I doing? I was fixing this, getting this ready. It's pretty much ready to go.
2025.
I'm excited. It is, you know, really, this video recording is making me stressed a bit, to be honest. But you kind of have to let go and just say, not say anything. It's just, this is part of it. Stop thinking about what it means or matters or how or what or where or when. You know, just sort of be confident in the process and what you've learned, what you think is your goal, what you think might happen, maybe what could be possible. You have hope. I mean, for sure, hope and faith and belief. I love all of these things that we can, all these sort of characteristics we can have and not be religious. I mean, you know, I really, I don't want to get into that actually, I think. But yeah, it feels like we have all that we need to be thriving as a human. You know, and stories will always be a part of that, it seems. Like, we communicate, and like what I'm doing right now, am I not telling a story? I mean, if you think about any experience, there is a story there. If it happens, then there is something that has happened. I guess that's pretty obvious. Why does that come up? I debate a lot with a guy I know about religion and stuff, and I like watching religious debates and just reasonable things to think about, since so many people, you know, think about them, and a lot of what we do and say can be structured by an idea of, you know, something that comes from certain stories, and it's absolutely fascinating. You know, wine, I get the story of wine. This makes sense. I mean, look at this. I mean, you know, these, I don't know where these come from. Over the years, I guess he's collected them and he just leaves them here. He's got a nice collection inside as well. But wine, yeah, I get it. Bicycles, sewing, relationships, bags, for sure. And then the story of technology is just, it's incredible. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible what we're doing. It's just stepping stones, isn't it? You know, we're basically, you know, we're the same organic growth that I have here on this bag making is the same organic growth that we have in our human story, you know, and crazy. It's like, and it does make a lot of sense, you know, if you do something and it sort of doesn't work the way you know, might have thought, then maybe you might do something different next time. I mean, that's how it happens. And then sort of innovation happens when, you know, you get surprised and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what about this? That I didn't see that before. Now I see it. I mean, you can be looking at something literally, and then not think of the new thing, and then all of a sudden it pops. So that's fun. That's definitely a fun aspect of being alive. I think so. Otherwise, I mean, if you knew everything, then what would be the enjoy? I mean, I guess you could if you were the only one that knew everything and no one else knew that. That would be fun, also, of course. Maybe indefinitely, because if you could do that and just be here, that would be pretty crazy. You'd be a superhuman, and you could like sort of just play around and mess with everything because you can kind of do anything or get anything, so you don't need to survive. You can do whatever you want. Would that be fun? I mean, God, that's crazy. It's a stupid question, really, because obviously it's not possible to do that, in that way. And I guess that impossibility perhaps is what leads us to contemplate and wonder. Yeah, we think maybe, what can we do then? So now what? Here we are. I guess it goes back to these old, the only real philosophical question, as they said, was not to kill yourself or kill yourself. And it is an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. I mean, I feel like there's a little flaw because since you have to consider that question, then and the fact that you're already going to die at some point. But then you could say there's a lot of suffering, and that does change things. If you are suffering consistently and there's no way out, I mean, of course there could be a way out, but for you, probably very unlikely. Then yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any. You don't have to keep going. Who said that you do? Even me, sort of having these hobbies and enjoying life, and I really feel like I do. It also, there's times where it gets to the point where it's like everything is so good and just easy and balanced and sort of predictable, and you think, well, okay, well, why even, like, what's the point? If I have to suffer for another second, then maybe killing myself would be better, even if it was so easy like this. That's a thought that's peculiar. And I feel like in a way that is a good way to contemplate death. Is to say that,
if you learn anything from this podcast today,
this life, what more could it be? Give me death. Give me death. Why not? Not even why not. Just give me death. And that's it. There is no why not. You don't get to the death part and then question it. So it was a decision that was, it was the final decision as far as we know. And that is the death of it. Anyways, what a nice little day. I don't know. I guess I'll keep checking this thing out. It's wild how not old this thing is, and yet how sort of not even close to how good the phones are now. This fabric is so nice. Tiny. 500 meters. All right, I guess I'm gonna start on this other bottom side. Here we go. I'm very excited to see these two together. It's gonna be sick. What a funny thing, you know. It crosses my mind a lot, not a lot, sometimes, occasionally, whatever, that, I don't have children. We don't have children. I am an adult, 43 almost, and it would be way more usual to have kids. That's kind of like the main story of humanity. You don't continue being humanity without having kids, and so it is necessary. But now it isn't. So, I feel like you can just continue. You're no longer in the adult child words. Are you an adult child? Are you a child, adult child? I mean, the labels, I guess, don't really matter. Even if you have kids, you can still be childlike. Hopefully you just won't be childish, but childlike, which is basically, just like this sponge for learning, this curiosity of what is it, and how does it work, and the simple things like riding a bicycle, like just riding a bicycle is so, something you just don't do for whatever reason. I mean, I guess it's probably because you need to go to work, and then you have to have a car, and then if you don't have a car, you're not good enough, basically. And it's also practical, riding this is Elsa's bike. Riding to work every day is not feasible for most people, so they kind of have to adapt with the way that the times change. Anyway, here we go. I'm excited. I'm kind of delaying the pleasure a little bit because it does go fast in a way, and this is another sort of philosophical idea, but time flies when you're having fun, basically. And, time flies somehow if you slow down, I mean, isn't that crazy? The feeling of time slows down, the actual passage of time, which is just going with the rotation and expansion of the universe, but it doesn't it doesn't actually, like, there's no actual we don't feel like literally, I don't think we literally feel the passage of time. It's the same way we don't literally feel the rotation of the earth or the expansion of the universe. It kind of seems like you do because we talked about it in that way for so long, like you're feeling time passing. Oh, it feels so slow, or it feels so long, or, it feels like you're going through it, but you're actually, you are and you aren't. So I guess, you aren't really, but you are on a greater scale. So, yeah. It's funny how that, I guess if you, it doesn't really make sense. Like, if I'm focused on this, I'm focused on something, but I'm not focused on the time. I mean, that's a big part of it, isn't it? Like, if you are looking at the time, which is what, sort of trying to see if you can feel the universe or the earth rotating or moving outwards, you can't really do that. So if you're not doing that and sort of engaged in this other thing, then you're moving without thinking about it. But if you're thinking about it, saying, I want to feel the change, I want to feel it because I am, antsy, then, God, it's going to be more agonizing somehow. You're in this slow grind, as we call it. Man, that's crazy. It's funny how in these different ways you can sort of have a perspective on something. I find that very difficult with shooting video and trying to capture this. Is it doesn't look the way I see it exactly. I mean, I guess it kind of does, but the focal length is different, of course. So anyway, geez, I need to go. Ciao.